Good morning, everyone. I'm honored to speak to you today about the more pressing challenge of our time. Thank you for joining today. I'd like to start with a quick question. Imagine this world where temperature hits 52 degrees Celsius regularly, turning our city into oven. And this isn't a sense from a science fiction movie. This is our current reality. In July 2024, we say exactly this temperature hit India and some region of Middle East. It makes us realize that the environment we took for granted is changing faster than ever. Today I'm going to report on the global impact of climate change. This story matters because the climate change isn't a future threat, it's today's crisis. It affects our food and our safety and our global economy. In this presentation, I will briefly explain the scientific cause and the current warming trend using authoritative data, and discuss the extreme weather event and ecological impact, such as rainbound and ocean warming. And third, introduce the different perspectives regarding economical solutions such as the carbon tax. And finally, end with a balanced conclusion on how we can move forward. To give some background, let's all take a look at the data provided by the World Meteorological Organization, also known as the WMO. That's a UN agency. They provide the most authoritative climate data available. According to the WMO report, global mean temperature have already risen by 1.2 degrees Celsius since the last 19th century. If you look at the report from the Copernicus, the spikes are even more alarming. July 2023 was officially the hottest month has been recorded in terms of surface air temperature. The main issue is driven by several contributing factors that we must understand. First and foremost are greenhouse gas emission. The most gas emission is the carbon dioxide is accounting for 79.7% of emission. This is a loss by 10 and 11%. Nitrous dioxide at 7% and the F-gas at 7%. According to the scientific principle, these gases act like a blanket. They absorb and redirect heat radiated by Earth, insulating the planet and preventing heat from escaping into space. This is known as the greenhouse effect. Furthermore, human activities like deforestation and land use changing have several weakened the Earth's natural ability to breathe and regulate these gases. Because of this rise in temperature, We are seeing this devastating consequence across the globe. There is a clear scientific line. Warmer year hold more moisture, is specifically for every 1 degree Celsius increase in temperature. More the atmosphere hold more 7% water vapor. Consequently, we are seeing rainbound, suddenly violent flash flood that overwhelm cities in minutes. We are seeing this recently with Typhoon Yagi in Asia and Hurricane Helen and the Milton in the United States. Furthermore, ocean warming is branching our coral reef and shaping the marine habitat. The flu more intense hurricane such as Hurricane Laura and Hurricane Ina because of the greater current heat release. In regions like the Suriname, for example, climate change has caused massive fluctuation in the production of staple crops. Farmers are struggling with undepressable yield for rice, banana, and coconuts, which directly threaten food security.
To understand the solution better, we need to look at the different viewpoints. Perspective 1 comes from provenance of the carbon tax. The main argument is based on the polluter pays principle. If you put a price on carbon, you save the earth. Supporters argue that this is the most efficient economic ways to encourage business transition to green energy. They also highlight the global ripple effect of policy like carbon border adjustment mechanism. This ensures that international trade partners also follow green standards, creating a level playing field for everyone. This debate is complex because both sides agree that we need a solution. But they disagree about the method and the speed of the action. The strongest argument from opponent is the long-term economic incentive for innovation. However, the strongest argument from opponent is the urgent need for immediate direct protection that the tax alone cannot provide. In my view, the most important factor to consider is how we can combine this economic tool with aggressive and alignment adaptation and climate adaptation strategies. And also the problem is based on the first, market efficiency, second, technology upgrade, third, green energy transition, and fourth, the international standards. However, some reports state that there are significant drawbacks to this approach. The step 2, held by many critics and developing nations, argue that a slow economic tool like carbon tax is simply not enough to stop rapid environmental decay. Let me ask a tough question. Are we overestimating the power of a tax when forced with immediate rebounds and superstorms? Furthermore, there are deep concerns regarding equality. Critics worry that such taxes might unfairly burden developing nations or lower income families who cannot afford the sudden increase in energy and goods costs. In conclusion, this report shows that climate change is no longer a distant threat. It is a current emergency to somehow we are facing record temperature, extreme weather, and shifting ecosystem due to our own emission. Overall, the most important takeaway is that we must look beyond the text. We need to ensure equality, redefine our definition of economic growth, and focus on massive reforestation and building sustainable cities. Thank you for listening. That is the end of my report.